Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of General Geekery. As always, with me is JD.
Hello.
Today, we're going to talk about the 40th anniversary of GI Joe, which comes after the 50th anniversary of GI Joe.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Because Hasbro's confused us all, because years ago they had the 30th anniversary line, which was actually a Real American Hero line, followed a couple of years later by the 50th anniversary line, which was actually a celebration of the entire 50 years of GI Joe. And now we're back to the 40th celebration because it's the 40th anniversary of GI Joe, a Real American Hero. Next year, or in a few years, I really can't wait to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the whole brand all over again.
Yeah.
So, Hasbro, your math, look, I suck at math, and I know their math is janky as all get out, but regardless, they revealed a bunch of classified stuff and some O-ring stuff, and they did something unprecedented because Hasbro is well, not so much unprecedented. It was unexpected on my part. Because GI Joe is their own in-house brand, they don't usually do a lot of promotion of other companies' products for GI Joe, but man, they sure did today. Brian doesn't know because I don't think he watched most of the stream. But
I was on my way home from work.
Yeah, so I don't think you watched any of it. So I was surprised because they revealed a couple of classified figures and then they moved over to something else that wasn't classified or toy related. Oh, it was the comic book.
Yeah.
And then after they did the comic book because they did an interview with one of the creators, I guess, and then then they went back and they did more classified stuff, and then they started pushing the Super 7 reaction figures. They showed off wave 3 of those.
Yeah.
And then they went back to the classified reveals. And I'm like, and then they did something about the new role-playing game that's coming from Renegade Games. Yeah, they did a whole interview with somebody working or no, not the role-playing game. It was a deck building game, a card game.
Okay.
So, and then they went back to the classified reveals. So it was and they did some O-ring. I mean, it was okay. It was just weird because I know it's the 40th anniversary and it's Hasbro's brainchild, but I found it odd that they weren't just showing Hasbro products, but that's all right. So there was a lot showing off and a lot more showing off than I was expecting, including a couple of wholesale surprises.
Yeah, there was definitely some that I was surprised to see, to be sure, myself as well. So
there's a couple I was surprised to see this early. And then there was one in particular that I was just shocked and delighted to see at all. So where should we start with?
Sorry, I'm getting text. People still think I'm in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. In fact, you know what? Do me a favor, provide just a little bit of context for that, because people are texting you saying, hey, stay safe in the Ukraine, not realizing apparently you haven't been there in 4 years. But
yeah. We're doing this show in the shadow of the invasion of Ukraine last night. Putin made good on not good on his threat, but he said he wasn't going to invade, and then he did. Which honestly kind of surprised me because he was doing the same thing when I was there in 2018. They massed a lot of troops on the border, threatened to come in. Nothing ever came of it. I kind of figured it was just a bunch of saber rattling like it was last time, and I was wrong. So where I was in the Donbass, one of the Donbass separatist republics called People's Republic of Luhansk. So that's all the Russian-controlled area. I was a paramedic there for 2.5 years. And Yeah, Russia, Putin has never liked Ukraine. I mean, part of it used to be part of the Soviet Union. Um, they had a lot of their space program there. A lot of the farming for Europe and Russia comes from Ukraine. It's a huge country. I mean, they have a lot of resources there. So, and
There's
he's
also a chemical plant there
yeah,
that had an accident one time.
that's not a chemical plant. That was a
Or
nuclear
a
reactor.
nuclear plant. I never figured when you were going to the Ukraine, I never figured it was one of those little tiny former Soviet countries, but until I saw a map today that concentrated on where it is that Russia has decided to go into, I don't think I realized that the Ukraine was actually that big. It's
Yeah,
bigger than most of the surrounding countries.
yeah, it's
Um,
I think the 11th biggest country in Europe. I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's a big country.
yeah, so there's a lot of people there and a lot of people that are going to be affected by this.
I still have a lot of friends there. Some of them are trying to escape right now. I've got a couple,
Natives or like contractors?
yes.
Both. Okay, good.
Uh,
Um,
I've got
so
the local national doctor I worked with. He's stuck in. They're sheltering in place in Mariupol. They're going to try and evacuate if they can, but right now they're just kind of stuck. One of the contractors I was working with managed to get his hands on a car and is driving to Romania to get out. One of the medics that I was with, he married a Ukrainian gal and stayed. They are trying to get into Slovakia right now. I got another buddy that decided to stay after we lost the contract. He's in Kiev and woke up to the Russians having bombed the airport, Boryspil Airport, where I flew in and out of more times than I could possibly count. Saw it on CNN last night in big orange flames. So he is trapped there.
you know,
They've invaded from Belarus to the north, and they're sending a huge armored convoy south to what I can only assume is to try and take Kiev.
you said that your friend and his wife were trying to get to Slovakia. Where is Slovakia in relation to
I'd have to look at a map.
Belarus?
I think
It's what?
I'd have to look at a map again. I want to say it's southwest, but I'm not positive.
Okay, because you said they're going through Belarus. So all right, so it must not be near there.
The Russians are coming in through Belarus.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're coming in through Belarus. So I'm guessing Slovakia is not. I do not know European geography to save my life. I know a lot of geography, but
Eastern European geography changes quite frequently.
I was gonna say it's changed many times since even I was in school. So
yeah, especially since you were in school. I mean, it's changed a bunch since it's been changing since the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Well, I for one am glad you're not over there anymore. I am slightly amused that you're getting texts from people that think you are, but that's okay. I don't care. People are busy. And,
I didn't.
You know,
I didn't post when I demobbed. When I decided to stay home for good, I didn't put anything up. I didn't put up when I got hired with the ambulance company here in Colorado. I didn't put anything on social media. So a lot of
that's true. I guess that's like me. A lot of my major life stuff, I don't post it. I like posting nonsense online.
So what people know most about me is that I work overseas, and I don't anymore. So they don't know where I'm at. So I've got people texting me asking me, are you safe? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Colorado right now, and I've been here since May. So
I was gonna say you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: all the reveals Hasbro did today, and I admit to thinking to myself, boy, good thing they didn't announce any classified October Guard. This would be entirely the wrong time for that. And
Well,
I know
maybe they
I
were
am an
going to and
October
decided not to.
maybe because I am an October Guard fanboy. I am a diehard October Guard fanboy.
Yeah.
Red Star is one of my favorite figures from 1991. I loved his addition to GI Joe, but this is not the right time for that.
No.
So they did show off the prototypes for the things that we had only seen renders of the last time they made announcements.
Yeah.
And then they showed a bunch more announcements and more renders. And we actually got to see like Stalker and the Crimson Clowns. I mean, the Crimson Twins. We got to see the actual, you know what? They say I don't think they're prototypes. They're full production figures. They're just not shipping yet. But
yeah,
there was, and I have a feeling, hang on a minute. God damn it. So yeah, I think the last time they made reveals and they just showed renders of Stalker and the twins, they said they weren't ready. I have a feeling they didn't have them in hand yet because it was only a couple of weeks ago. But I mean, the Crimson Twins are exactly what they need to be, I guess.
The only thing that really surprises me is that they are single packing those.
Yeah, but they've said, but even back when they were rumors that they were coming out, they were shown to be single packed. There's never been.
I mean, even when they announced them, I still I think it's really weird that
it is the first time that they have been sold alone, like individually, like
except for
even in other multi-packs. They've always both been included, but maybe for this particular scale, they just decided.
I mean, they're doing a 3-pack of Vipers. Why not just do the 2-pack of the Twins? I don't know. I think it's weird, and I'm just waiting to see, watch them ship to retail and watch one of them be short packed. So there's 50 Zaymots and 1 Tomax.
As a guy who, since I was a kid, can't keep straight which one has the scar and which one doesn't. And it doesn't matter how many times I learn which one has the scar and which one does not. A second later, woo, out the door it goes. I have no idea. I cannot, to save my life.
Yeah, this is from a guy that knows most of the file names in MOS.
Exactly. Exactly. But when it comes to things that easily get mixed up, no, my brain does not work that way. But I mean, the Crimson Twins, they're exactly what they need to be. They are,
I think they look
modern day 6-inch updates to what they were in 1985.
Yeah, I think they look pretty good. Not for me, but
no. I mean, if you like the Twins, if you like Tomax and Zape, you've got to be happy. Yeah, I do not. I kept making jokes today about them being clowns. I mean acrobats. No, actually, I mean clowns.
Yeah,
because they suck. When I was a kid, I did not mind them in the Sunbow cartoon. As an adult, I think the gimmick is good for about 2 seconds before I can't stand them.
I liked him in the comic book. I had him as a kid. I sort of fit them into my universe, and they usually either got captured or killed during big battles.
Every figure I had got integrated into the adventure, but I do not remember either of them, I mean, as entities or as a pair, ever having any sort of substantial role. I do kind of wish as much as I wish they had done something differently with them for the classified release, unfortunately, what it comes down to is true. The more they change things up, the more people don't actually want them to change things up.
Yeah.
So they keep having to go back to the real American hero designs.
Yes.
It happened at the beginning of Classified when they were trying some really different looks.
Yeah.
And people were not happy. They wanted their Real American Hero, their vintage updates. That's people overall, people of our age group, we are all stuck on what we already know. And the last time they did anything different with the Crimson Twins was one of those Real American Hero 6-packs when they put their heads on Headman bodies to have the suit versions. They were not good figures, but they haven't done anything with them since. I mean, the 25th anniversary Crimson Twins were the last time I bought those two characters, and these look like bigger versions of that. Those were excellent updates to the Real American Hero stuff, and these Classified ones are excellent updates to the 85 and the 1990 and the 2007 releases. But
had they packaged them in the vintage style packaging, it's like you said, we want what we know. And if they double packed them in vintage style packaging, I might have been tempted to get them.
I think they will do that. They will do that for retailer exclusive at some point. Or they will do like the mirrored packaging and whatever.
Yeah.
I can see them doing it, but honestly, when it comes to things that I want to see in the Classified line, being fans of them or not, they still would have been a low tier for me.
Yeah, no, I would not have. They would not have been on my list at all, ever. Honestly.
There are lots of Cobras that would have made the list before them if I was in charge.
Yeah.
Serpentor being the big one. I am pretty sure
a lot of possibilities. They can just the ability to do highly detailed sculpts. Just
I am pretty sure
to a decent Serpentor.
I don't know when, but I'm pretty sure now that they're going to do Serpentor, because first of all, they're bringing out Dr. Mindbender, who created Serpentor.
What a weird one to go with.
It is not a weird choice that they made Dr. Mindbender because he does have a big fan base. I find it an irritating choice that they went Real American Hero with the design.
Okay. I'm not surprised they did.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. There have been lots of better versions of Dr. Mindbender released over the years. I mean, not the least of which is Valor versus Venom, which was the first time the guy was available in a fucking lab coat like he needed to be.
I've got one sitting right here behind me.
Yeah, I've got one too. I've got a Valor versus Venom one upstairs too. But I kind of wish that they had done more. If you want the open shirt and the slightly professional wrestler look, that's fine. Update the Joe versus Cobra version, where he had the purple shirt, but he had that giant Cobra neck medallion.
Yes.
Do something like that. I don't think they needed to go all Real American Hero, but I did see the Dr. Mindbender, and I thought, okay, they're re-releasing Destro, who in the comic book, it was Destro and Dr. Mindbender that made Serpentor.
Yes.
Dr. Mindbender was the king of the show in the Sunbow cartoon, and the Crimson Twins played a part there. Dusty, Zorana, they both had huge roles in Arise Serpentor Arise.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. I am pretty sure that they're doing Serpentor. Now, whether he's going to include his air chariot or not, I don't care. I don't need it. I just want Serpentor. But I am the only thing that could have made me more sure that they're working on Serpentor, honestly, is the inclusion of if they had put Scrap Iron out, because he too had a big part in Arise Serpentor Arise. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're working on Serpentor, and I'm happy. So
Yeah, sorry,
But
mom's texting me now just to. My mom knows that I'm not in Ukraine, but she's like, I'm sorry for what's going on. So
oh, that's all right. I thought maybe my computer was making noises that I couldn't identify and wasn't going to bother investigating. So, um, so I mean, Mindbender for what it is looks good, but
I think it looks. I agree. I think it looks good for what it is. I think it looks like a decent figure. Again, not my cup of tea.
no, it's not.
Picking it up. So
I don't. If it was up to me, he would have been a Battle Core update, which was never going to happen.
It's
That
funny
was
you should
never
say
going to
that
happen.
because I was just gonna say if I had my choice of which version they would do, I want the unreleased 94 version.
Yes, in fact, that's what I want. I want.
I would buy that.
Yeah, I want some of those figures that we never saw because they never actually made it to production. I want to see them in the classified style. Again, I don't know that we ever will, but
I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. I think it really is hard to say at this point because one of the figures that they revealed today was Kamakura, who is not an American hero figure at all.
That was the one that shocked and delighted me because in a million years I wouldn't have thought of it. It's not.
Nor me.
The last time Kamakura got a figure was in the Retaliation line, and he was just a Frankenstein repaint. The last time before that Kamakura got a figure was the Sigma 6 line.
No, I think there was one in Rise of Cobra line. I'm almost sure.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was blue. He had the urban camo on. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. I took his head off and I used him for my Night Creeper leader. I gave him a head swap. But no, you're right. That's right. So Kamakura has had two, and then he was Sigma 6 before that. Then he had a few versions between Spy Troops and Valor versus Venom. But I mean, I know Kamakura is still a popular character. People look fondly at that character.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just did not expect him to get the classified treatment.
I didn't either. I kind of thought they would stick with the Real American Hero. I won't say Real American Hero figures, but the Real American Hero names. I didn't expect to see a new sculpt character so soon, which gives me hope for figures like Blackout and Guillotine. Barrel Roll, any of those guys that really eventually became staples of the GI Joe.
Kamakura is an interesting one because if you look at the history of Kamakura, who was created for the Devil's Due comic books, he very much follows the template of the Baroness, who was created by Larry Hama from the comics. He only created the Baroness because, for one, everybody else in Cobra had a mask on. So he needed an unmasked character for Cobra Commander to talk to. Secondly, he needed Cobra Commander to have a...
Except Major Blood.
Yeah, but he didn't come around at first. He didn't appear till later.
Okay.
Issue 1 of the GI Joe comic, the Baroness is right next to Cobra Commander's side, along with a couple of other unnamed characters that never popped up again that probably could have. But so when Baroness was added to the Real American Hero line, you know, Hasbro had to get all kinds of like legal clearance from Marvel to put her in the, and then she showed up in the Sunbow cartoon because she was so immensely popular from the comic book that before her figure was even out, she was in the Sunbow cartoon. So Kamakura is the same way. Josh Blaylock created him for the Devil's Due run, and he keeps outliving every iteration that he shows up in later. So, but I just did not expect him to get a classified release. It's phenomenal. I mean, the figure itself is excellent. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm not particularly impressed, but I'm not much of a Ninja fan. I haven't been for quite a long time, so I'm not particularly interested in the figure.
Yeah, I'm going to pre-order it as soon as it goes up.
But I will say that it does give me hope to see some of the characters that I mentioned earlier.
Well, if this doesn't guarantee, if Kamakura is released with his Arashikage tattoo, as is fitting, and the exchangeable head with Sean Collins, I did not expecting it the Sean Collins head sculpt either. I wouldn't have realized that they were going to give, but that's awesome because this marks I think the first time that Sean Collins has gotten a figure. Sean Collins being the son of Wade Collins from the Marvel run. He was, but I didn't expect Kamakura. I never would have.
No.
But I'm wondering now if Kamakura is a primer for classified Don Moreno Snake Eyes at some point.
It's funny you should say that because I was just going to bring that up.
I'm pretty sure.
I had a nice chat with the creator of that character, Jamie Tyndall, at the Denver Comic-Con last year, and he really tried to, because I told him, I'm like, I, not to be an asshole, but I used some of your art for one of my card backs. I'm like, I hope that's cool with it. You're cool with that. And he's like, dude, I don't own the art anymore. It's all Hasbro. He says, you go right ahead and use whatever art that you want for your card backs. Because I told him, I'm like, I'm not planning on selling it. I did one for a buddy of mine, and I did one for myself, and I'm not selling them. I just charged my buddy, the cost that my normal commission for doing stuff. And he's like, dude, I don't have a problem with it. It's not mine to say yes or no anymore. And because I showed him a picture of the figure that I did, because I did he did art for a Storm Shadow variant Don Moreno, and I did a figure of that, and he thought it was great. And he's like, I really pushed Hasbro to make a figure of her, and it just he said he couldn't get any traction, and he couldn't get garner any interest in it. So maybe that is coming. I would really like to see that, and I know the creator Jamie Tyndall would like to see that as well.
Well, I mean, what also helps is that Don Moreno got a Kotobukiya figure last year in the Bishoujo line. She got a release. The Snake Eyes version of her got a release last year, and then this year they're doing the Storm Shadow.
Yes, I saw that
release. So if Bishoujo is doing it, and we just got Kamakura from Hasbro, I'm pretty sure they're going to do Don Moreno, and I hope so, because honestly,
I will probably buy two, one to keep as the Snake Eyes version, and one to customize again to make another Storm Shadow version, because I really like how the custom turned out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that
now too. So
I'm pretty sure that you're one of 100 other people that are going to do that too. They're going to end up ordering two, one to have each. So, Kamakura, he's great. They said they'll show off his gear later, which was an odd choice. But then I realized, because they specifically said, we'll show you his gear later. And I'm like, that's weird. Why call it out? Because none of the other renders had any gear with them at all. We're lucky he even had the hood and the alternate head. But as for the rest of them, Zorana's phenomenal.
Let me pull up my phone, because JD texted these to me while I was driving home. So every time I did I'd like, okay.
Yeah, because you texted me the other day and asked me if I was going to follow the stream.
Right.
And I said, yeah, probably. I said, I can't imagine I won't. You're like, well, I'll be driving home then. So I'm like, so yeah, I just started texting that screenshots.
Where the hell is my phone at? God damn it.
Dude, you just had it. It's on the desk in front of you. Or it was.
Oh, there goes my air compressor. Let me turn my air compressor. It was. Yeah, I don't know what I fucking did with it. Because I hit the sound, and it's like here somewhere. Oh, I'm sitting on it. That's why. All right, so let's go through some semblance of order.
Well, I mentioned Zorana.
Yeah, hang on.
Zorana.
Let's just start. Let's just hang. Yeah, Zorana was the first one. All right, the figure looks pretty decent. Again, I can completely do without Zorana at all. I did like her in the comic book. I did like the storylines with her and Mainframe in the cartoons. I had the figure as a kid, never used it. I got it for the novelty of changing color in the sunlight because I love Zartan so much. I have zero use for a Zorana figure. My only kind of hope for the figure is that they re-release it like they did the Zartan figure with a color changing gimmick at some point in
time. My thoughts on Zorana come down to this. Oh yes, please, I need it. Thank you. I also need Xandar. What?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I also need Xandar ASAP.
You were going to say that too.
I am a lifelong Zorana fan. Part of it was her portrayal in the comics. Part of it was her portrayal in the cartoon. Part of it was her card art. When I was a kid, I'm like, man, there was something about that severe looking woman in that card art that enchanted me. The same way, I guess some boys were about either Scarlet or the Baroness. That was me with Lady J. But when it came to the holy shit, that's really hot thing, oh yeah, that was Zorana. All Zorana for me. I'm very glad she's getting a classified figure. She looks phenomenal. I mean, she's as good an update or better than the 25th version was, and that's saying something because the 25th version was a phenomenal update.
I think it's on par with the San Diego Comic-Con figure.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I had both of them at one point, and I ended up selling them off.
I mean, I've only got the original, and I customized it. I fixed it, but I never had the Colt Slither variant. But this is every bit as good an update of Zorana as that was. And again, please make Xandar. His file card calls out that he's the forgotten sibling.
Right?
Can we please not forget him in the classified line? I don't care if he's in exclusive. I don't care if he's in exclusive repaint. I don't care. I don't care if he's I don't care if he's got Zartan's torso and one of the Crimson Twins' head and Flint's pants. I don't give a shit. I need a Xandar figure to go with Zorana.
Sounds like you got a recipe for a custom right there, my friend.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. No, I mean, and I might, but God damn it, Hasbro just needs to make Xandar, which maybe they will. Maybe they will. I'm not.
Think at this point, they almost have to. I mean, they've got two different versions of Zartan and now Zorana, so I think it's going to be kind of hard not to do a Xandar at this point.
I mean, Xandar's been overlooked before. I mean, in the Joe versus Cobra, or in the Spy Troops, Spy Troops, Zorana got an update that Xandar didn't get. But at that point, I didn't really expect him to. I wasn't as set on you can't have one without the other as I am now. I'm just amused because you can't have Tomax without Zaymot unless you're talking about the IDW book, in which case they killed one of them, which really, what was the point? I never read it. I'm just aware of it. And I'm like, well, that just screams shock value. Yeah. But Xandar and Zorana, they're twins too. So damn it. We need Xandar. Classified ASAP. Okay, thanks.
All right, let's see what's next here. The next one that you texted to me was Dusty.
All right.
Not real impressed with the render that they did. However, Dusty is, of course, one of the first Joes that I got. Probably not one of the first ones, but he was definitely one of my early Joes. So I think I probably will pick that one up.
I will pick it up. I did see a comment that somebody said Dusty is boring, to which I almost made a joke that I'm like, yes, because the original figure was loads of excitement. It really was. Yes, a guy in desert tan. Again, it's a kick-ass figure, but don't call a bland desert colored character boring.
I don't.
In the new line when you don't call the old one boring.
See, I'm going to argue that on saying that the render is not, with what they can do with paint apps, the render is less than impressive.
I can't stand the missing camouflage on his torso. Where he's got the web gear, he's got that the open uniform. I mean, now it's cool because you can see the name tag, says Tater, and you can see the US just like is sculpted on the original toy, but they didn't get the detail in there. Well, this does. But there's no camo on that part of the torso in the render, and oh, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, see, that's kind of where it's like, ooh, Dusty, but man, those.
Yeah, I really hope the production figure has some kind of camouflage here, just something. It activated my OCD that I may or may not even have.
I would say that if I will pick up Dusty, and if it looks like it does in the render, this will be my first classified custom. I will repaint it.
Yeah, I will add camo. If the render is accurate to how the figure comes out, I will be adding camo to it.
I will use my airbrush on it because I'm able to do halfway decent camouflage with my airbrush on 1/18 scale figures. I'm dying to see what I can do with it on a 1/12 scale.
I'm definitely going to get Dusty. I'm not sure that I would have picked him for this early in the line, but there's also no reason for them not to. So I'm kind of glad they did. I mean, it looks good for what it is. I mean, it's Dusty. It's
I just think that paint apps, especially with like the camo face paint, there's so much cool stuff that you can do with paint apps, and it doesn't come across in the render.
No.
With what's possible. So I am interested.
I mean, I hope his gear is good. I hope he's got some decent gear. I mean, I'm sure they're going to update his classic rifle.
I would assume so. Let's see who's next. The next one that you texted me is the Crimson Guard.
At first, I wasn't keen on it, but once I went back and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, you know what? If ever I'm going to be converted to being a fan of the Crimson Guard, it's going to have to be this figure that does it. Because I had a Crimson Guard when I was a kid, and I liked them as far as they had a big role in the books. They had a role in the cartoon. I was fine with them. I've never been the Crimson Guard fanboy that a lot of people are. And the 25th version, man, they tried, but I kept looking at that. I'm like, this figure is janky as all hell. And even the later version they did for, I think, Retaliation, I don't like the Crimson Guard. I don't
like the helmet on it.
I don't like the Crimson Guard as Battlefield guys. I don't like
They're
them
not supposed to be.
No, and that's why I thought the Retaliation version was too much of a field version. They don't necessarily have to be ceremonial, but I don't like the idea of them out in the field at all. But I mean, this figure.
Still working on my female. I'm putting off doing all the sculpting. So as soon as I get all the sculpting, then I can at least start painting her.
I'm actually really solidly impressed with at least the render for the Crimson Guard.
This is one I would pick up.
Yeah.
There's,
I mean,
I'm not a huge, again, everybody knows I'm not a huge fan of the 6-inch figures. I really resisted getting them, but I have picked up a few of my favorite characters along the way, and the Crimson Guard. I'm not like the slobbering fanboy that you're talking about by any stretch of the imagination, but I really loved them in the comic books. I think they did a good job with them in the cartoons, and the figure looks solid. I like it. I will probably pick it up.
All the details are there from the Real American Hero release, but amped up. The more I looked at it, the more I was like, I'm not a big fan of troopers at this scale, the 6-inch scale. I'm not a big fan of troop builders. I don't feel any need to army build anything. I don't even feel the need to buy 2 of any of this stuff, honestly.
Yeah, and army build,
not,
I don't army build, but troopers are my favorite thing ever.
See, I like troopers. I don't like them at the 6-inch scale. But
I haven't put down my Alley Viper since I got it, man. And
I haven't.
I am like the last convert for the 6-inch stuff, and I fucking love that Alley Viper.
I still haven't stopped laughing at myself for seeing 2 Alley Vipers at the store the other day and walking out without either of them. I have no problem doing that.
If they're still there, get me one. I want to do a version 2 custom.
All right. Firstly, they won't still be there because, secondly, I was shocked that they were there in the first place, especially in the afternoon when I was there. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So no, I don't think they'll still be there. I was shocked to see them ever. I didn't figure I'd see them. It's just I sent Brian a text. I tried. The picture didn't work, but there was a picture of a classified Alley Viper on the shelf next to the Super 7 Major Blood, and I laughed at myself because I thought I will buy Major Blood, but I didn't yet. I laughed as I walked out of the toy department. I'm like, I don't care about either of them right now. I want the Alley Viper to get repainted, but I'm not in a hurry. I'm not a big fan of troopers at this scale, but man, that Crimson Guard, if ever I'm going to be a fan, I think it's going to be that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really a beautiful figure. The
really
sculpt is good. The details are great. Yeah, I think they've got me with this one.
The next one that you texted me is a Python Cobra Trooper.
I'm all over it.
Oh, no,
I'm all over it for the same reason I'm all over the original Python Trooper and the original Python Officer, and I have to laugh because they fucking reversed them again on purpose. They fucking consciously did it. It was a screw up in the Real American Hero line that the Officer and the Trooper got reversed, and they keep doing it. The 25th, or the club did it for their 25th box set of the convention Mission Brazil versus Python Patrol, and Hasbro did it too. I wondered if we were going to end up getting the Python Trooper and Officer, and I wondered if they were going to fix it. They did not. The Officer and the Trooper are still mixed up. I'm going to buy it.
I didn't become a fan of Python Patrol until they ditched the green and gray camo and went to the kind of black and gold.
Yeah, and see, I didn't stop being a fan of Python Patrol until they ditched the green and black, or until they ditched the green and yellow and they went gold and black. Boring, bland.
I just finished getting that set. I have all of them now from that 6-pack, and I love those figures.
I
think I have all of the 2018 convention updates too.
Yeah, wow, yeah, I hate all those too. I didn't like that set because it in no way matched the original Python Patrol.
Which is why
see, that's I looked at this Python trooper and I'm like, all right, I'm buying it. Again, I'm not a fan of troopers at this scale, but I am a fan of Python patrol. Not enough to buy the bat, mind you. Still skip that shit.
I'm kind
Of
of on
course,
the fence about that one, honestly.
I'm not.
If I see it, I might pick it up, but I'm not going out of my way to get it.
Well, to be fair though, I'm also not buying the classified bat either because I don't give a shit about bats.
I'm not a
And
big
of all the
fan,
editions,
but I like him enough. I did pick up the classified bat.
yeah, I will happily skip the classified bat, and I wasn't opposed to a Python Patrol version, but I do not like what they did with it at all. I do not like it.
I have
I'm
to look at it again. I kind of vaguely remember it. It just
yeah, I like
Python
I
Patrol and it immediately tuned out.
I will buy it, even though because I have the Cobra Infantry, the Cobra Island version. He's the only trooper that I've got in the classified line. And I'm not a fan. And this is just that, except in its fuck ugly colors. And that's why I love it, because it's just that, but in its fuck ugly colors.
It is fuck ugly colors.
Yes. And part of the reason I love Python Patrol is because of the fuck ugliness of it. So yeah, so I'm definitely buying it. And again, I won't buy more than one of them, and I'm buying it as a novelty. For the same reason I'm buying a Python Viper. I don't have the original Viper. I'm not going to buy the 3-pack. I don't care.
No, I have no use for any of those.
I ordered a Python version because if I'm going to have Vipers, well, I'm just going to have them as a dedicated unit. I'll put the troopers and the Vipers together and I'll say, hey, they're Python Patrol, but they're a specialized unit, which they are. But the fact that I won't have any regular colored Vipers is irrelevant. So yeah.
I wasn't impressed with the regular Viper to begin with to even try.
Neither was I. That's why I skipped them. And I do like the officer in the set, but I'm not buying the set. So
yeah, no. I'm not either. Let's see what else. What was the next one you texted me was they did the Super 7 break. We'll come back to that. Let's stick with the classified. Okay, this one kind of irritates me. This one rubs me the wrong way. This one rubs me the wrong way a lot. Tiger Force Recondo.
Yeah, I love that figure so much.
Fucking hate Tiger Force.
I
love Recondo, but I hate Tiger Force.
I have never given a shit about. No, when I was a kid, Recondo was just there. He was one of those Joes. He was there. I had him. It was fine. I didn't have any particular opinion. I got the Tiger Rat.
Good.
No, I got the Tiger Fly was Dragonfly repaint. Yeah, I got the Tiger Fly with Recondo that Christmas that it came out, and I remember being shocked at how much more I liked that version of Recondo than the original.
Ugh.
And I'm glad that they did this one. It's not necessary.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad because, for one, I think it looks phenomenal. For two, I'm amused that, once again, the Tiger version will be out before the original version.
Yeah.
But mostly, I'm taken with the mustache that figure has. God damn, that is a glorious.
Yeah, it is.
That is a glorious real man's mustache. Like it's got the curl and shit, which I can grow a mustache. I can't make it do that curling thing. That is fucking gorgeous. I love it. If the actual figure, if the paint apps are anywhere near as good as that render, then that is going to be the mustache to beat in this line.
I'll give you that. But I have zero use for Tiger Force I saw that and I'm like, oh man, they're making Recondo and they're making him Tiger Force. God damn it.
I bought, hang on. I am, yeah, I'm definitely going to order Recondo when it's out, when the pre-order's up. Yeah, I was shocked that they put him out there, especially because Duke with a vehicle for Tiger Force Duke and a vehicle have already been teased for Target, like in the computer. Like I think there was a listing, and I'm shocked that Tiger Force Duke wasn't shown today, but Recondo and Bazooka were.
Which is the next figure that you texted me was the Tiger Force Bazooka, and I have absolutely no use for that either.
While I like it, even when I was a kid, for the same Christmas, I got Bazooka. And while I still much prefer Tiger Force Bazooka over Bazooka, that isn't saying anything because Bazooka sucks. So, this is in slightly better colors, but it's still Bazooka. But I'll say this, he doesn't look like a dolt for once, at least. But I'm not a fan.
I don't agree with that, but all right.
I'm not a fan of Bazooka. I've never been a fan of Bazooka. I probably won't buy this either.
I wasn't a fan of Bazooka until the Battle Core. I like the Battle Core figure.
Well, me too. But since they won't go back to that, since everybody just insisted he's got to wear that fucking football jersey, I've resigned myself to the fact that we're never going to see him outside that fucking football jersey again.
That is the only custom I've ever done of Bazooka is the Battle Core.
Yeah, no, it's nothing against
you have that
either.
I think
I don't like the original figure. I never did. I like the Tiger version because the colors are better, but I mean, it's still Bazooka, and I don't care. I bought the 25th version, and I used it for a custom.
Same
and
here.
I
think I used the custom off that Bazooka for a Freddie Mercury custom.
Yeah,
I think I did that while I was at your house, actually, now that I think
yes, you did. Now that I think about it. Yes, that was a long time ago.
2008.
Yes,
yeah.
that was a while ago. I probably won't buy Bazooka unless I see it at the store. Now, if I see it, I'm not going to pre-order it, but if I see it, I'll probably end up buying it. But that's because I've already got Outback pre-ordered, and I'm going to pre-order Recondo, and I'm really hoping the Tiger Force Duke with the vehicle actually does happen, because Tiger Force Duke, aside of the stupid ass brown hair, is my favorite version of Duke. So I really want a Tiger Force version. So yeah, I'm just going to hold out hope for that and pre-order when it comes out. And if it does happen to be packed with the rumored Tiger Paw, that'd be great because I've never owned a Tiger Paw. So I would be amused if a classified version was the first time I get one in my collection.
Yeah, no use for either of those figures. Let's see what the next one that you texted me is. All right, the next one is Kamakura. We already talked about Kamakura. So the next one after that, they showed the actual figure in hand of Stalker.
I've seen a lot of complaints about his color palette.
I like the color palette. That's right up my alley. Very dark.
I like the color palette because that color palette reminds me of the Pursuit of Cobra Stalker.
Yes.
With the urban camouflage.
Yeah.
And fuck me, I love that figure. And fuck me, I love this figure too. This Stalker figure is phenomenal. I like the colors. He doesn't need to be in green. I mean, I get it. I have a feeling it's going to be a little closer to green in hand. But yeah, if it is dark gray like it looks, that's fine. It's a Pursuit of Cobra Stalker, and that's okay.
Yeah.
The beret comes off. So I mean, what else could you want? It's a great Stalker figure. He's phenomenal, and I can't wait to get it.
The only thing that I would want from a Stalker figure is an interchangeable head to have that Pursuit of Cobra head.
Oh, with the dreads, yeah. I do kind of wish that that we had the dreads version available. I'd like to see it because
I'm gonna say that it's gonna be quickly available. The head will be available before the figure will, because somebody is going to 3D print that.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. And I'll probably end up getting one of those. And using it on, yeah, getting so I could have another Stalker with it, because I like that look for it. But yeah, he's everything a Stalker figure needs to be. No fuss, no muss. He's ready to kick some ass, which is what he should do. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I like the looks of it. I don't know that I like it enough to get one, but I do like the look of the figure. Absolutely. I think it looks like a fantastic figure. I just don't know that I need one. Next one we already talked about was the in-hand Crimson Clowns. So that pretty much took care of the classified figures. Hang on just a sec here.
Oh, two dogs. Hi, Izzy. Hi, Alice.
Let me pause it.
Oh, well, we finished with the twins.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it for the, because I'm just going through the stuff that you texted me, which I assume they were talking about at the time.
Yeah.
Was the current Crimson Clowns. And then the last one that you sent is the one I've already pre-ordered. And that is
tank. Megatron his tank.
Megatron is transforming his tank with the O-ring Baroness.
Holy motherfuck. I did not expect it.
I knew there was a rumor for, I'd seen that there was a rumor for another Transformer GI Joe project. I'd seen that it might be a Real American Hero, so like O-ring, and then I heard a rumor that it might be Megatron, and then they released it. So because somebody put it up on their website yesterday or the day before the announcement, and it got pulled. Somebody saw it and put it up.
See, yeah, I was unaware of it because I was totally out of it last night or yesterday. So so it came as a shock to me. Had I known about it ahead of time, I would have assumed that either Snake Eyes or Optimus Prime was going to be involved. Because if you're going to do a crossover, well, you know, but I'm shocked. Well, firstly, this has appealed to me based on, well, you know, his tank, but also,
obviously,
as much as I'm not a fan of G1 Megatron, if you're gonna do it, holy fuck, this is the way to do it. I'm not going to pretend that that I'm not slightly miffed about having a third Decepticon character as a his tank. But the fact that it actually transforms into a his tank, I'm like, well, shit. All right, that my argument is invalid right there.
Third?
Yeah, because there was Shockwave as the hiss.
Yes.
And then later on, there was a Soundwave as a hiss.
Oh, yes. I have both of those. I just never opened the Soundwave one.
I have both of those. I only have Soundwave because I bought them separately from the rest of the set.
Yeah, I remember that.
And see, I wasn't a fan of Soundwave as a hiss tank, which is why I renamed him as a different Decepticon character. but I did like Shockwave as the tank. But man, this Megatron,
I have two of
shit.
those. I liked it so much.
This Megatron, I mean, well, because I prefer G2 Megatron. I mean, I've got the Hasbro Pulse version of G2 Megatron that they put out last year. I've got him upstairs.
Okay.
If this Megatron scales with that Megatron, because it looks like he's got the same cannon, I'm going to be shocked and delighted. That if they're the same size, to have a consistency like that, but I don't really care.
Didn't I do a custom of that for you? Or that was
Shockwave. That was Shockwave, the movie Shockwave. Yeah. That was this has well, because what did John say, or P Love? He said he's been waiting 40 years for this. I mean, it wasn't anything I was waiting a super long. I mean, it wasn't anything I expected, but shit, I can't argue with the results.
No, I like it. I pre-ordered it today. I wasn't gonna miss out on that.
Yeah, they really they really captured some lightning in the bottle with this one.
I would agree. I've only missed out on one of the Transformer crossovers, and I still regret it.
Yeah, I totally missed out on the set with. Well, I only have the Shockwave set, but I like the other ones. I just never got them.
You have the one that I don't. You have the one with the Ninja Force Scarlet.
Yeah. Oh, the club set. Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't. I mean, yeah. No, that does count, but I never think of it in turn. I always think of the San Diego ones, and then that one later. But yes, I do have that one, and I love it.
Yeah, that's because I've always liked the Ninja Force Scarlet look. I didn't like the figure as a kid, but I liked the look. And when they made that figure, and I didn't have the money to get the set at the time, I'm like, God damn it! And yeah, it's unobtainable now.
Yeah, I'm really happy after seeing the secondary market prices for everything the club ever made, even their shitty stuff. Wow, I'm really glad I got that when it came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Hiss tank set with the Baroness and Megatron, and holy shit, the Hiss tank actually transformed. I'm just like, what the fuck? Now, okay, of course, I'm gonna give it to Rip It because Rip It, but I
might be able to get a decent. I saw the guys that are doing the decal wraps for the Hiss tanks.
Anyway,
because I saw the guys that are doing the third-party wraps for the stickers for the Hiss tanks, that they are going to do a wrap for this particular Hiss tank as well, and it will work in conjunction with the transforming feature as well.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Haven't you seen those guys that are making the stickers that to turn your Hiss tank into like an Alley Viper Hiss tank, or they have like half a dozen different sticker sets for the things?
I have no idea. I have not seen these at all. I have no idea what this is.
Okay, well, anyways, there's these guys, and they're doing real cool sticker sets for the Hiss tank. Jesus, where the fuck have you been? Because it's a fucking Hiss tank thing.
Yeah, but I have not seen it at all.
I'll send you a link next time.
I was gonna say, I don't know anything about this. I mean, I've seen customs of Hiss tanks in these specific camos. Now I'm wondering if any of those had those wrap things that you're talking about. But
if you've seen them recently, then probably yes.
Yeah, probably. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, well, anyway, those guys are said that they're gonna do a wrap for this particular Hiss tank, and it will work in conjunction with the transforming feature.
Nice.
So I'm curious to see what they do with that.
Nice.
That's probably somebody we should get on the show too.
I'm all over this. I'm just like, are they kidding me with this? This is perfect. And then honestly, you know, I've seen a couple of people say, I'm surprised they're doing the O-ring Baroness, not a modern one. Well, I'm not,
Why
because
not?
Hasbro's on a kick right now. They're not doing the modern figures, but I mean, if you're gonna do an O-ring figure again, like the Baroness, the face paint on that figure is phenomenal looking.
It does look
Um,
really nice.
the printing or whatever they're doing for, yeah, it looks really good. So yes, this might be another 84 Baroness, but it's gonna have, yeah, it's gonna have the softer hands, the better paint, the it's gonna be more durable, and again, the hiss is a classic. Well, go with the classic figure. Why not?
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm gonna get, yeah, Rip It and the Baroness are gonna be the crew for this, and Megatron's gonna be all grouchy as shit. Um, but yeah, I'm very happy that they're doing this.
yeah, that is that's really all I wanted out of the releases today was something cool in 4-inch scale, whether it was
Yeah,
O-ring or whether it was modern sculpt. I really was 50-50 on that. I'm like, if it's cool O-ring, I'll go with it. If it's cool modern, I'll go with that too. Really be happy if it was a mixture of both. It wasn't, not surprised because they do seem to be steering away from the modern sculpts in favor of the O-rings, which again is fine. Um, I haven't needed or really wanted any of the ones they've announced, aside from the Baroness, because it's coming with this thing. But I think at some point in time that they're going to hit on either a favorite figure or a favorite character of mine, and I'm going to be like, yeah, I need that.
oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
I
of course, I backed the Kickstarter, so I will be getting my Ace and my Scarlet figure, of course.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, hey, did you see the file card for Wayne Ruthell? Okay. First of all, what's his name? Failsafe? Whatever. I like the code name. Um,
Naval Aviator. Hoo-yah.
yeah, Naval Aviator. We finally got the Aviator in the GI Joe line. And when I read that, I'm like, you've got to be, they did it. They did it. They finally did it. And he's the weapons officer on the plane. I'm like, ooh. So I, yeah, I love it. And I like the art. Yeah, they did a good job. And I like the fact, yeah, because they said, I think I read somewhere that the backers are going to get digital versions of the file card.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah, so I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. I'm, yeah, I read the whole file card. I'm like, wow, that's well written too. All right, good.
Oh, I didn't get a chance
there,
to read it today. I've been kind of.
there is a typo on it that bugs me, because you got primary military specialty, birthplace, and then secondary military specialty. What are you people doing? Don't you have a copy editor? My God. Secondary military specialty goes after primary military specialty,
Which
people.
is kind of odd. Which is kind of odd because if you look at yojo.com, that's how they have theirs laid out.
What do you mean?
That's the format Yojo uses. Go to yojo.com.
Is it really?
It is, because that's where I get all of, because
Yeah.
a lot of the times they have typed out the file card, and when I file cards for my customs, it is so much easier to cut, copy, and paste than to have to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I spend a lot of time on Yojo cut and pasting from them so I don't have to type everything out and worry about getting a typo in my card, because I've done that once and somebody caught it. Yeah, no, that's the, oddly enough, that's the format that Yojo uses.
All right, well, that's weird, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I am now looking forward to seeing what kind of art they do for Scarlet, Ripcord, and Ace. I'm glad that we've seen something else from the Kickstarter. I really can't wait until we actually start seeing color renders and things. But yeah, overall I was pretty happy with, oh yeah, we'll bring up the Super 7. Wave 3 was shown.
Yeah, let's touch on that. I was gonna mention that and I forgot. Wave 3, I cannot get behind this Super 7 stuff. People are bitching about the price. To me, that is not a new thing. I've been watching the Super 7 stuff for years and years and years.
I was going to say it's always been expensive.
Always been $18.
Yeah.
Always. The only
Ever since Funko stopped doing the Super 7 stuff because they broke out on their own, the React. No, Super 7 became their own entity because they were the Funko reaction line for years, and they were expensive then.
Yeah.
And so once Super 7 broke out on their own, yeah, they've been consistent. They're $18 figures. They have been all along. It's not new.
But I would pay $18 for a decent figure, but I do not like the retro. I mean, the like 5 points of articulation retro style is, to me, an abomination for GI Joe. I specifically stopped getting Star Wars figures when I was a kid, after I got my first GI Joe figure, because the articulation was better, was funner to play with. To have a GI Joe figure with 5 points of articulation is ridiculous. However, that being said, I do like what they are doing with the figures. I love the card art. I love the fact that they are doing figures that we've never seen before, and they're doing like homages to a lot of the stuff that was in the cartoons. I do dig that. I dig it a lot. I just can't get behind the 5 points of articulation.
When I was a kid, the articulation, I mean, I love GI Joe. They moved all over, but that wasn't my thing. I wasn't particularly. GI Joe for me was all about the characters and the story.
Yeah.
And the fact that the figures had all kinds of articulation was just a part of the magic of it. But I think if I was a kid, had there been less articulated Joes also released, like we'll say like the Action Force line from Palatoy, there was a bunch of 5 point articulated stuff in there, and then they got a bunch of Joe repaints later, but they're all part of the same line.
That's true.
I think if we'd seen like the lack of articulation on Deep Six when I was a kid is not what bothered me about Deep Six. It was that shitty ass figure and that crap vehicle he came with. But I don't.
Well, that will not amuse me. How much you hate the shark?
Yeah, and I will. But I just like later Scarlet and Snake Eyes Ninja Force came out with the weird hips because of the kicking. That never bothered me. It bothered me aesthetically because it didn't look like the other, but I never cared about the articulation until I was an adult. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the lack of articulation but I'm not buying. If I'm buying it, I will buy some of them, but they're novelties for me. I'm going to set them up. I'm going to display them. I'm not going to mix them with my other figures.
I am tempted. I haven't been to Target in a while, so I don't know if my Target has them. I'm tempted to get the Game Master drone if I see it for the head and do a custom, because it would be I could do that custom without any problems. I would really kind of like to try it just to see how well I could make that custom, but I don't know. It's just going to depend on my mood when I come across, if I come across one.
So far in the stores, I've seen Duke, Lady J, Major Blood, Storm Shadow, the Game Master drone, the Fun School Snake Eyes, and Cobra Commander. I have not bought any of them yet, but I will at some point because, like you said, the card art's phenomenal on these things. Oh yeah, Winter Bazooka. I saw him too, and I was almost tempted to pick him up.
Well, because it's a shame that as much as we bag on Bazooka, dude, I would buy, if that was articulated, I would buy a Winter Bazooka in a heartbeat.
Well,
I love that fucking cartoon. I love that episode. And that was where they introduced Quick Kick, and
I almost bought that figure. The only thing that stopped me was the fact that I didn't want. It was just the fact that if I was going to start with this line, Bazooka's not where I would have initially gone. But the only thing that really stopped me from buying it was just because I'm just being more careful than I was with what I buy. Like, I passed on the Fun School Snake Eyes, which I was planning to buy, but again, I'm just being more careful. So at some point,
I'm myself, I'm working on getting a lot of the O-ring vintage figures that I didn't have, because I'm in the process of trying to collect all of the specialty Vipers. So I got a buddy here in town that he usually can find stuff for me and gives me a good price. So, you know, $20 is going to get me one of the Alley Vipers that I don't have. So it's like, do I want a 5-point of articulation GI Joe figure, or do I want one of the Alley Vipers that I'm missing from my collection? So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Yeah, and see, for me, a lot of times when I'm buying this stuff, it comes down to do I want that particular figure, or do I want something, or do I want to save it towards another Marauder order or something? Yeah, and right now where I am, yeah, that's kind of where I am. Because I want is if I'm spending money on but yeah, I got a lot of stuff I gotta buy that is toys right now. But
see, and that's how I'll justify the Game Master drone if I get it, is it will be custom fodder.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I want Lady J. I want Major Blood. I want because I love the sunbowness of them.
Yeah.
Which I
get, and I mean, I dig that. I dig what they're doing with it. I just can't get past the 5 points articulation.
Well,
and before we like beat this horse to a death, let's at least mention what figures are coming out in Wave 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because if nothing else, you know what? When I saw Winter Bazooka, my big stopping point on it was, well, now we have Winter Bazooka, but they really need to give us Winter Duke, and Winter Flint and Lady J, because they were always doing the Arctic thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I can see the Flint and Lady J. I'm gonna one up you and say that they need to do Alpine and Quick Kick too.
Oh no, Alpine and Quick Kick are definite. I just mean because they weren't wearing the winter gear, because Alpine was just wearing his normal gear. But yeah, I'm sure they will. But
all right. So anyway, figures coming out in Super 7 Wave 3 include we've got Cobra Commander with the battle helmet. You have version 1 Roadblock. You've got Flint. You've got the 84 Baroness. You've got Snake Eyes version 2 and Firefly, which is one of my favorite characters. I think that one I'm gonna have to see in the store, because that may be enough for me to get that one.
Yeah, Firefly I'll probably get.
Because I'm if I saw version 1 Storm Shadow, I might pick that one up just to have it, but I don't know. Again, that's gonna have to depend on my mood. It's like, do I want? It's because some days it's like I want to buy a toy just because I want to buy a fucking toy today.
Yeah.
And if I'm in that mood and it's one of those figures, it may be coming home with me, especially if it's that Game Master drone and it's like I want to buy a toy today and I want to make it custom. That will be the perfect storm for me to buy a Super 7 figure if it's the Game Master drone.
Yeah. I'm not gonna collect most of it. I like it as a novelty, but if they continue to be as well done as they're doing right now, I'll be looking forward to seeing what they come out with at least.
See, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm curious to see is Super 7 does not hold on to a property very long. So the fact that they've actually got 3 waves into this is kind of surprising for me. They don't usually go very deep into any of the properties that they have.
No, yeah, you're right, because the Ninja Turtles line, I think there were 2 waves, and it was all the most basic figures you could think of, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
About as far as they got was Krang with the robot suit, with the mechanical suit with the legs. That was it. And then Bebop, Rocksteady, and all that, and then that was it. They were gone.
Yeah,
So.
and that's just it. They have so many properties like Funko does, and it's just it's like, to them it's like, how many different properties can they go through, as opposed to how deep into each one can they go into. I think they're smart enough to realize that GI Joe has I don't know, because the Turtles kind of proved me wrong on that point, is that they realize that there's a lot of depth and a lot of people will be interested in those figures. But it's the same thing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, Jesus, that line had depth like that's comparable to GI Joe. And
well, yeah, because if you look at who was making the cartoon, the Ninja like that. I don't know if it's NECA or if it's Super 7 that's doing the Ultimate Ninja Turtle, where they're basically taking the original figures and giving them new paints and all kinds of accessories, and
I think it's NECA.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the 2-pack. I mean, they're impressive, but I mean the set with Ground Chuck and
I don't know if I've seen that one. But anyway, that's kind of my point, is like I'm surprised to see a 3rd wave of Super 7 figures completely unrelated to what they look like, their price point, and what people think of them, just because they fart out a product from one license and then move on to the next license.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to do more waves beyond this, because I have a feeling if they are, I bet blonde cover girl that people have always wanted, I could see them doing that for this. And I really want a Super 7 Serpentor.
The one that I would expect to see, funny you should say that, is Cold Weather Scarlet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, oh yeah. Oh yeah, because it was Cold Weather. Yeah, because oh yeah, because I'm trying to think of which Joes didn't wear cold. No, they all did. Even Gung Ho did. There's an episode where he's wearing a jacket and not his sleeveless vest out in the Arctic.
Yeah, so that would be one that I would expect to see, as a Cold Weather Scarlet. I'm gonna make a prediction here. We'll see how accurate I am. Hasbro has a bad habit of making it, and I know these aren't Hasbro figures. Let's just.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean you, but I mean like our viewers. Don't. Yes, I know these aren't Hasbro figures. But they have a bad habit of canceling lines at Wave 4. That's you and I have talked about this before. The Wave 4 curse.
Look, Star Wars has it all the time. They get 4 waves into a thing. Not anymore, because they don't do. But like years ago, I remember they'd start a new series. They get 4 waves in, and then that last wave would be tough to get, because they will have already started to transition to something else in the line, and suddenly that last line gets lost.
Okay, hang on a second. I gotta pee. So we'll see. I mean, my guess is Wave 4. Maybe Super 7 is smart, and they realize that they can ride this horse quite a ways, just due to the fact that how deep the GI Joe line is. But man, just based on what they've done before, I just don't see this. I just don't see this hanging around very long. The Super 7 stuff.
Like I said,
just based on the company's history, not necessarily, again, not because of what the figures look like, what people think of them, or how they sell. Just purely.
No, yeah, it's just a matter of if you look at the rest of theirs, yeah, they don't get around to making all the characters before they're done. There's a few staples of the Sunbow cartoon I'm hoping for, like Serpentor, and I wonder if there's a chance we could get probably not, but I wonder if there's a chance we could see a Super 7 version of the October Guard. Because
boy, you know,
I don't know
with what's going on maybe right now, then probably not.
No, but I think there was a chance, maybe not. But I always like to look at the Sunbow October Guard because they were very different from the October Guard that we got in the comics.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hoping, but yeah, no, it's not the political climate for that. But,
not really.
But I mean, overall, really, if you're going to celebrate the 40th anniversary of GI Joe, a real American hero, shit, they're off to a good start. Between Hasbro and the licensee, yeah, they're all. I mean, you can't say GI Joe's wanting for products right now, which is something that we definitely could have said a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
hopefully this will keep all of the death of the line idiots quiet for a few more months.
Hopefully. I mean, we can only, all we can do is hope.
I laugh at every time somebody says that. It's like, this is the death of the line. They're not going to make any more GI Joe stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've been hearing that since 1994.
Yeah. And
GI Joe stuff. So
yeah, and it always sticks around for a while. So
yeah, there's definitely gaps here and there, but nah, it comes back.
It's doing well right now.
So I think that's about all we got for this particular episode. This was
it is
kind of off the kind of just like JD texted and said, hey, let's talk about the stream today. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm off. Today's one of my days off. So we had that available. So yes, just kind of on the fly episode of General Geekery to talk about the 40th anniversary announcements. So yeah, in just another year or two, we'll be talking about the 60th anniversary announcements.
It's so weird. But all right, thanks for listening.
You know what? Before we go, what's going to be really interesting is when we have the 50th anniversary part 2.
That is going to be great. That is really Hasbro. Your math is amazing. But yeah, well,
10 years from now, we will have 50th anniversary part 2.
Yes, and really can't wait to see what they're going to do with the 75th anniversary. Oh wait,
yeah. Huh. So, all right, that's about all I got for this particular episode. As always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Night, everybody.